I'm Sebastien, and I'm here with Roger, and we're in the CH750 Super Cruzer, so we're going to go up for a quick flight, and we'll share information about upcoming open hangar day, the homecoming, and a few other things. But before I get talking too much, we'll have Roger kind of walk us through the pre-flight checklist here.
Yeah, so we're in the Super Cruzer, and we got the Lycoming O-360, 180 horse, and we do have mixture control. So I lean it out a little bit on taxi.
Short final, runway 6, full stop.
And we'll run it up to 1600, check each ignition system. Go to right. Back to both. Left. Both. RP. And back to both. All looks good. Controls clear and free. Doors locked on your side. And flaps up. Fuel's on both. Alright.
So it's a beautiful day. I was out flying earlier. We got low-level clouds. Well, when I say low-level, they're about 1,800 feet. So pretty nice day to be out flying, and it's a good opportunity to check out this Super Cruzer.
Tango, clear of all runways, Mexico.
Mexico traffic, Fairmont 75 Charlie Delta is going to be departing runway 06, north departure for local flight to Mexico.
Sorry I made you wait.
No problem. I was just doing a run-up, so no problem. Alright, we're going to use the stick back about 60%, 70%. Those will come off and ease in the rest of the power.
Good takeoff. Now that was nearly a STOL takeoff by most measures, wasn't it? And so, like I was saying, you know, we're in the Super Cruzer prototype airplane, and admittedly, we do have a climb pitch on the propeller, don't we?
Oh yeah. But we're going to readjust the prop. We've got a couple other props coming in, so we're going to work on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, we've been flying the Super Cruzer, nearly 2 months now, I think it is.
Right.
And it's working out really, really well. Been very impressed with it. I think this will be a very popular airplane with customers. Still providing some of the utility of the Super Duty, yet some of the cross-country capability of a bit faster airplane. So we've been very pleased with that. Like you were just mentioning, you know, we're going to
Zero Tango, crossing 1836 at Mexico.
And, you know, like we're mentioning, we'll be trying out different props. I know we have wheel pairings we want to install on this airplane. It's a pretty dirty airplane as is, but even then, we're pretty happy with the cruise performance on this airplane, as well as, you know, obviously the short takeoff and climb performance as well.
Exactly. Yeah, it handles very nicely and very stable. Takeoff and approaches to land is very, very common, normal approaches.
Yeah. And you know, I did a lot of flying. We were flying off phase 1.
Clear of all runways, Mexico.
Phase 1 flight test program, and it's been a while since I was involved in a flight test program like that, and it was a lot of fun to discover the flight envelope on this airplane. Really does a great job at pretty much everything that we were looking for. And of course, it's got the roominess, open cockpit feel. Our panel's a little bit different than what we've done in the past. We don't have a conventional instrument panel, and it's not the unpanel like in the Super Duty, but we kind of have that center console look, and we're using the Garmin G3X, which is a little bit of a departure for us. We use primarily the Dynon Skyview systems, but all these systems work really, really well.
Yeah, I like our new panel. You know, I mean, the unpanel's nice, but I like having something in front of me, and I don't move the unpanel anyway, so I kind of like it.
And that size screen, it really doesn't, we're not missing anything. There's, and of course, you know, you can change what you're showing on the screen. A lot of good information.
And we have it closer so I can see too.
As we get older, it makes a difference. But like you say, with the unpanel, and we love the ability to reposition, but it's a feature we don't really use.
But it made the customers think out of the box and come up with their own, you know, panel system and design.
Right. And I know you like to stay low, which is why we've got relatively low clouds here. You know, we're only at 1,600 feet. We're about 1,000 feet above ground. You like to stay low. This morning I was above them.
Okay.
They were a little bit lower too, but it didn't. You really didn't have to go up far at all to get there. So, you know, we're in August already, and September's coming up pretty darn soon, and every year we hold our annual homecoming in September. And this year it's on the 18th and 19th, Friday and Saturday of September at our factory in Mexico, Missouri. And of course, we invite all of you guys to come out and be part of that again. Those of you that have been visiting us in the past years, come back, and I know a lot of you guys like to come back. And of course, we love to have you visit us again, and then as well as new people come out to the factory, learn what the Zenith community is all about. And you know, that's one thing community of customers and so forth. You really can't design that. It's something that just happens over time, and that's something that that's one of the joys that I know you and I both get out of the business is that Zenith community. Is we really love to visit with our customers, our people that learned to fly many years ago, learned to fly their Zenith. You were involved in helping them build the airplane, and now a lot of these guys are flying. And with the homecoming, a lot of them come back to the factory to bring their airplanes and show off their airplanes to us.
Yep, exactly. It's a great time, and hope to see everybody at our homecoming for sure.
And it's over 2 days. We really try hard to make it entertaining, but also informational, educational. We do a lot of seminars for new customers, but also for existing customers. We do a lot of hands-on as well for new and existing guys. So there's always something to learn. We always have new speakers that come in to share information about building and flying, as well as new vendors that want to talk to you guys to show whether it's new products or new features and so forth. So it's always just a lot of interesting things that way. And then of course it's a camaraderie as well. We do 2 dinners, Friday night as well as Saturday late afternoon dinners. Those are always fun. We have breakfast, lunch. It's just a good time. And then of course if you can stay locally at the hotels. I know they fill up pretty much in advance, but also local camping. Bring your camper, bring your tent, and of course if you fly in with your Zenith, or even if you're a non-Zenith pilot, but you want to learn more about the community, fly out to Mexico Airport. There's a lot of camping and parking on the tarmac. You can set up a tent right next to your airplane. Very informal, lots of fun. Yeah, this airplane's got really good stability because it's probably kind of getting bumpy today. We're under the clouds and just above the farm fields, but really stable airplane.
Yeah, it is. I mean, positive stability comes right back to
Yeah, we'll have to do some feature videos on flying this airplane a little bit more, both walkarounds on the ground showing some of the features on this aircraft.
Exactly.
Those of you that are familiar with the Super Duty, the CH-750 Super Duty, as well as the CH-750 Cruzer, there's not a lot of new information, but it's really a nice hybrid design, and I think the result has been very good. Sometimes I dislike designs that try to do too much. They tend to be fast and slow at the same time and everything else. And usually an airplane it really excels at one thing over the other. But with the Cruzer platform like this, I really do think it does a great job of being a good cross-country airplane while also being a utility backcountry airplane.
Exactly. And we could now work on our Super Duty to get more STOL capability, because we didn't want to go too slow. Show the customers we can go still 100 miles an hour better, but now we can focus on the STOL being more STOL.
Exactly, and of course at the factory, we've got the luxury. We've got a bunch of airplanes to play with.
Right.
I know for customers, you generally, you're not to say stuck with, but you have one airplane that you want to, and have an airplane that maximizes all the flying that you want to do and to do it well. And that's where I find the Cruzer platform really does an excellent job that way.
And don't ask me my favorite aircraft.
I know the answer, so I'm not gonna ask you. That'll be another video for a different day.
Well, should we head back?
Yeah, sure. Let's do that. Yeah. Let's head back. As we're flying back, I can talk a little bit about other additional events. You know, we do our factory workshops, and of course, those of you that aren't building yet or want to start another project, come out to the workshop at the factory. We learn about building as well as, you know, showing you the newest features on the kit. You know, if you built your airplane, your Zenith 10, 20 years ago, you'll be pleasantly surprised at how much easier and quicker they are to build today. And those of you that have never built anything before, I you know, challenge you to try to take that on, see if it's something that you really enjoy doing. And by the way, I think we can be public now because the EA announced it earlier. We're going to be doing the 1 week wonder again in 2027, and we'll be building. When I say we, it's a whole group of people. Will be building a CH-750 Super Cruzer. So that's super exciting for us to be involved with that again. That was what 12 years ago that we did the 2014 when we did the 1 week wonder.
Feels like yesterday some days.
Some days, I know.
Yeah.
It's true. You know, I was looking at the pictures from 2014, and some of those memories are pretty vivid. I remember them like they were yesterday.
Yep, exactly.
And then other things, and looking like I'm looking at an archive, a historical archive, because it has been a while.
Mexico, traffic, Experimental 75 Charlie Delta is on the left downwind for 06 Mexico.
So we're really looking forward to, you know, we've got a year to prepare for that, but and we're going to reach out to the Zenith community again to get involved, to share your expertise. This 1 week wonder is a little bit different because it's being built and it will go to a flying club, the Aspiring Aviators group down in Central Florida. And so we're going to be looking forward to work with them. And I challenge you guys that have built an airplane before and that are flying to take that skill, pay it forward a little bit to get involved in helping these guys build and fly an airplane.
Okay, we already done our pre-landing checklist. Got everything checked, and now we've started slowing it down, add a little bit of flaps in the wide arc, and getting ready to turn to base to final. Mexico traffic, Experimental 75 Charlie Delta is turning left base for 06 Mexico.
Yeah, and I love the room in this airplane here. We've got lots of space between our shoulders. And I like leaning up against the glass. I can look straight down.
Right. I remember at Oshkosh this year, I had a customer 6'7".
Oh yeah.
And he was just tall, huge, everything. Not heavy set, just big.
Yeah.
And he fit in it.
Yeah.
He fit in it.
Yeah. And I'll try to share the pictures of that because we had a number of people, just large people and they were pleasantly surprised as well, which I love to see because they were kind of saying, well, I don't think I can fit in this airplane, right? And rather than agree with them, I said, hey, let's try it out.
Exactly.
And they actually fit quite well.
Mexico traffic, Experimental 75 Charlie Delta is turning final 06 Mexico.
And then, of course, the visibility is nothing short of spectacular in this airplane.
Yeah, that's how when you come around base to final, you're always lined up because you can see around that whole turn.
Yeah.
And a lot of aircraft you just can't.
Right, it becomes a blind spot, and then you hope that you're still lined up.
Let's try to get down to, let's see, in the high 50s maybe. You guys want a number?
Put a bit of flap in.
There's low 60s.
And of course, no pressure to land on that center line, Roger.
No,
right?
I know it.
Yeah, we're showing low 60s right now. Now in the high 50s.
That feels good. I need just a touch of power.
It feels very solid, doesn't it?
Yep.
And the low 50s, 51 indicated.
A little bit of crosswind.
45 indicated.
And you can tell we're going slow.
39 indicated. Wow, that was like a STOL. Wow. Well done, Roger.
I had a little bit of power just to keep it over the tail, but and I didn't try to land short.
No, because you were floating there, but but I was impressed because we were still flying indicated in the high 30s, and that's the STOL stuff, and that's you know, this is a no leading edge slat. Now I know sometimes the airspeed indicator is not super accurate under 50, but
it's, you know, it's got to be fairly close.
It is
not
fairly
like 20
close.
off.
Yeah, I know when we were doing some of our slow flight testing, high-speed taxi testing, the GPS and indicated airspeeds, even at those angles, were good still.
Yep.
Well, thanks, Roger. That was a fun flight.
Hope to see everybody at the open house.
Yeah, we really look forward to it again this year. This will be our 35th annual event. Isn't that crazy?
I had a customer in the other day, and he wanted to know how old I was, and I said, "How old do you think?" He says, "Well, let me do the math. I know how many years you've been working at Zenith," so he was doing the back math.
Well, it's a compliment when you look younger, and I guess this job is not running you too ragged, is it?
Yeah.
So it's still enjoyable. So yeah, we look forward to seeing many of you in September. Yeah, you do make it look easy though when you're landing and coming in. And no, you do. Yeah, you really do.
Well, to be honest, I mean, I should land pretty well, as many as I've done. You know, in theory, I mean, it should.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you do that.
Yeah.
But it does, because
I like to show where you don't have to try, and I think that's more impressive than doing a steep slip, come down, and doing all your little aerobatic maneuvers and land short. Because not everybody can do that. But if you do a short landing, and it's not much shorter than a normal person,
it's
more
impressive.
impressive.
The landing roll there was actually very short. Now,